I've lost my confidence, George, and I want to gain it back. Well, don't worry, because I too lost my confidence quite some time ago. And I used these 3 techniques to gain it back. And once I applied these 3 techniques, I gained my confidence back pretty much overnight. But before we get into those 3 techniques, let's take a moment to appreciate what a blessing it is to be alive today. Here we are again in the great outdoors, a perfect place to start when boosting your confidence, when regaining that confidence that you used to have but you lost it. Because when you're out in nature, you can be your true authentic self. No one's judging you out here. No one's hating on you out here. No one's expecting anything from you out here. You can just be yourself in the most authentic and unapologetic way. What a blessing. How to gain your confidence back, I'm going to tell you. The first thing you need to do is build your confidence bank. Come again, George? Don't you mean confidence back? No, you heard me correctly. You need to build your confidence bank. Imagine your confidence, your self-worth, your self-appreciation as a bank account. What are you talking about, George? I'm struggling to keep up with your video today. Bear with me. Picture a bank and imagine a savings account in that bank. I want you to treat your confidence like a savings account. Every time you do something that scares you, no matter how small, you're depositing into that account. Start with micro deposits. Every time you have a little win, or you boost your confidence, or you speak up in a meeting, you make eye contact with someone, you say something brave in a scary situation, treat that as a micro deposit. And over time, you're gonna accumulate a lot of self-worth in this new bank account, right? What that's gonna do is it's gonna allow you to make withdrawals when you doubt yourself. Say it again, George, didn't hear you that time, no worries. It's gonna allow you to make withdrawals when you doubt yourself. If you can get into the habit of writing down your daily wins, then when you next doubt yourself, you can look back on your daily wins and realize that you are far more confident than you realize. This is something that I always advise people to do. Gratitude journaling, but also writing down what went well today. When was I confident today? How was I confident today? How am I building back my confidence? Write it down. Have a specific page in your gratitude journal so that when you are feeling those thoughts of self-doubt, oh, I've lost my confidence, I'm not confident anymore, George, go back to the deposits. Go back to the micro deposits. Look at all the times you were confident. Look at all the times you were strong. Look at all the times you were brave and powerful and courageous. And you will start to become more confident because you'll realize that you are capable. You are capable. You think you're not because you're living in the present moment, which is a good thing to do. But in the present moment, you're thinking, I'm not confident, George. But you are, because you were so many times in the past. So you need to build your confidence bank. Over time, these small wins accumulate and serve as a reminder that you're capable of overcoming challenges. When you face moments of doubt, you need to mentally withdraw from that bank. Reflect on all the times you've pushed through fear. Because no matter how much confidence you think you've lost, I guarantee you're more confident than you realize. I guarantee you're more brave than you realize. I guarantee you've been through more hardship than you realize. You are actually a very strong person. You are actually very mentally resilient. You think you've lost your confidence, but you haven't. It's still in there. You've been confident so many times in the past. But the problem is, you are comparing yourself to others. You're thinking things about yourself that are way out there. George, I could never speak on stage. Okay, well, just because you can't speak on stage doesn't mean you're not confident. Don't compare yourself to someone who can speak on stage. George, I could never deliver a PowerPoint presentation to my peers or to my work colleagues. Okay, great, that's fine, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you can't do that. Doesn't mean you're not a confident person. Doesn't mean you can't be confident in other ways. That's a whole different thing. Everyone's different. No one's perfect. Some people can run really fast. Some people can swim really well. Some people can talk on stage, others can't. And that's okay. Being confident doesn't mean you can do everything. Being confident doesn't mean you can do all these things that you see other people doing on the internet, on social media. Comparison is the thief of joy. You know this. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't compare your confidence to someone else. Sometimes just getting through the day in itself is a fantastic achievement. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being so hard on yourself. What's the second thing, George? I'm intrigued now. Let's get into the second one. So you've got to rewrite your self-talk script. What's a self-talk script, George? Well, see, we all have an internal dialogue, but most people let it run on autopilot. And when you let your mind run on autopilot, chances are it's going to be negative. You're going to say negative things about yourself. You're going to beat yourself up, as opposed to focusing on what went well. Again, this is why I always encourage people to actually write down what went well during your day. Keeping a gratitude journal, keeping a wins journal. What went well today? What did you do good today? You've got to rewire your brain to think positively. You've got to rewire your brain to appreciate yourself and stop being so critical. Stop being so hard on yourself. For example, instead of always thinking to yourself, I fail at this, I'm terrible at that, I always mess this up, George, you need to replace that with, I'm overcoming this, George. I'm getting better at this, George. I'm working on this, George, and I'm proud of myself. What this does is it rewires your brain to work for you and not against you. You're your own worst enemy at the moment. You need to become your own best friend. Say it again, George, didn't hear you that time. All right. You need to become your own best friend and not your own worst enemy. Don't beat yourself up. Stop being harsh on yourself. Uplift yourself. Be kind to yourself. You do it to your friend. You do it to a family member. You do it to your loved ones. Why aren't you doing it to yourself? What's the third thing, George? Okay, well, this third thing is probably the most important one that you can do. What you've got to do is you've got to practice imaginary audience confidence. So this technique is used by a lot of people who have lost their confidence, especially in social settings. And what it does is it flips social anxiety into a source of self-confidence. It's a technique that I recommend to people who are really struggling with their self-confidence. And essentially what it is it's where you imagine you are the main character in a movie, in a video game, in whatever scenario you want to create for yourself, you imagine that you're the main character. Now, this works very well with people who have fully lost their confidence. If you've only lost your confidence a little bit, then the other two techniques that I mentioned might work a little bit better for you. But this one's very good, especially if you're quite creative and imaginative. I used to use it all the time. I used to wake up, walk out my front door and imagine millions of people were watching me. Millions of people all around the world rooting for me, saying, you go, George, you do your best. We've got your back. We are rooting for you. We are voting for you. We have faith in you. And so what would happen is I would walk out the door, I would go to school, I would go to college, I would go to work, I would do these different things throughout my day. And I would deliberately make more eye contact. I would deliberately start conversations that I was scared to make. I would deliberately stand prouder, stand more firm, be more confident, display more confidence, have more self-acceptance, have more self-appreciation. It works fantastically. If you are one of these people who are struggling deeply with your confidence, imagine the world is watching you. Imagine the world is rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Imagine I'm watching you. Imagine I'm there in the corner. You can't see me because I've got my invisibility cloak on. You can't see me, but I'm there, I'm watching you. And I'm rooting for you. You've got to imagine people are watching you. How would you act? Imagine how you would act if millions of people were rooting for you to succeed. Visualize yourself walking with purpose, speaking with clarity, and thriving under pressure. Because this isn't about being perfect, it's about embracing the belief that you have something valuable to offer, which you do. You're a valuable person. You are needed, you are wanted, you are appreciated, you are valued. You have so much to bring to the table, but you've lost your confidence. You need to bring it back with these 3 techniques. And I know you will, I know you can, I know you are capable. Let me know in the comments how you got on with these 3 techniques. Please like the video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. Thank you so much for watching. I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please follow me on Instagram, George_Horrock. Send me a DM with a question and I'll answer it here on the channel. Comment below a question and I'll answer it. And I'll see you next time. God bless.